Hello, 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 hello. My name is Linda Murray. Let me put myself back in regular view. Hi, everybody. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug. And you've just tuned into the Business Plugs Mixer. I have a great show for you. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. Pull up every entrepreneur you know. Call everybody you know who owns a business and tell them to tune in. This is going to be next level. This is the perfect show to preference my ready set funded. Like this is the first this pairs very well with ready set funded, and you're going to learn. So find all the entrepreneurs you know, tell them to get paper and pen. Tell them to ask questions in the comments. Like this is for strictly for entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter if you're already in business or if you're just starting business. This is the show of shows that you're going to want to take notes, that you're going to want to ask questions, that you're going to be fully engaged in. Because my guest, Jennifer, I call her Jenny. Jennifer is going to blow you away. She's going to blow you away. Like she's got a whole presentation for y'all. She's going to blow you away. Our conversation going after I do this housekeeping thing, right? Our conversation is going to be stellar. You're going to wish that you were here. So if you're watching the replay, go ahead and say hashtag replay. And if you have questions there, go ahead and ask your questions. Still get your answer, even if you're watching the replay. And thank you for watching the replay, by the way. So, yeah, because a lot of times people are busy Sunday nights preparing for Monday. I get it. No problem. But I want to talk about the things. This is going to be for every entrepreneur. All your entrepreneur friends, like tag them, push this to their inbox, do what you want to do. They're going to thank you for it later. So, yeah, so that's what we're doing today. But before we get there, I need to tell you, I have 4 tickets left. I have 4 tickets left to Ready, Set, Funded. Ready, Set, Funded is for Black entrepreneurs who've been in business 2 years or more and who have made at least $10,000. I want a grant. I want a grant in March to help pay for teaching Black business owners how to get into contracting, how to get into grants, how to get into investors, how to get in all the different ways in order to get funding, whether that be loans or grants or contracts or whatever it takes, whatever you're looking for. I want a grant in order to make that happen. It's happening Saturday, May the 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is an in-person event. And so I need you to grab your tickets off Eventbrite. They have went fast, really. I only have 20 seats. So 20 tickets is all I'm doing, but you get to be in the house. And this right here is going to make you ready to be in the house to get next level, right? So this is going to be really, really good. If you are an entrepreneur who's been in business 2 years or more and who's making at least $10,000, this is going to take you right up there. This is going to be married with what we do on Saturday. So you're going to want to be in the place. Now, with that said and done, if you would like the 360 business assessment for your business, if you're already in business and you've been in business 2 years or more and you're making over $10,000 and you don't have time to be with me on Saturday, you need to see me another day, then go ahead and make an appointment at getthebusiness.org. Go ahead and schedule a free call with me and let's talk about where you are and where you want to go. So those are the housekeeping things. Now let's get this show on the road. You are going to lean in. I hope you have pen and pencil. I hope you have something to write with and something to write on. Go get a clean sheet, get a clean notebook, because you're going to be taking so many notes. This is going to be good. I'm excited for you. So without further ado, let me welcome to the stage my friend Jennifer Mason. Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, how are you?
So thank you for your yes. Thank you for talking about this very important subject for business owners that are ready to get funding or ready to have conversations with investors or ready to get funds, period, right?
Mhm.
This is going to be a great tool. So tell them who you are, Jennifer, and what you do and how this plays into your wheelhouse.
Okay. My name's Jen. I own a development and design agency. We do everything for businesses from building out their initial branding to up to building their websites, their apps, and those kinds of things. A big part of working with with people who have startups or new businesses who want to have a business but don't really know where to start. They'll come to me and ask me kind of what the viability of their business is, how likely is it, or what do I think about the purposefulness of it, or how I think it'll go long term. Because of course, if before they spend a lot of money on something like an app or like a website, they need to know that their business is going to be something that has some sort of standard or some sort of a audience for it. Um,
Absolutely.
so that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today is kind of where businesses who aren't established yet and who are just starting out or who just don't maybe they have a name, maybe they have like a quick idea and they need to start with all of the background information to kind of build up, and how I start with them and what we provide for them and what we get together for them in the beginning.
Absolutely. And this is, and the thing about it, but what I like about this, a lot of times, most of the businesses that reach out to me, they actually started up the way they thought it should be.
Mhm.
They follow what they see somebody else do. So it may not even be legitimate. I see this as being an aid to those people who've already started up to also help them to get it right, like to get their foundations right and to get all the tools they need in order to go next level. Because you have to have business in proper order to play at a higher level. And
Mhm.
so even if you just started, even if I've had business owners to be in business well over 15 years and not have structure. And so, they didn't have reporting, they didn't have anything. And they talked about like sitting in my class, they learned a lot of things. And so tonight, business owners watching this are going to learn a lot of things. And I'm inviting them to ask their questions, to put things in the comments. I'll monitor the comments. You do what you do, and I'll monitor the comments of whatever come in that way. But I think it's going to be a great opportunity for business owners to see how your frame and your infrastructure plays into getting you ready for those conversations with people who are wanting to fund your business.
Mhm.
So
For
yeah,
sure.
so without further ado, ma'am, let me um, let me play the background here and put both of us here and bring your presentation to the stage so
Yeah.
that you can get started.
Yeah. So what I'm going to show everybody today and to talk about is a little bit of the things that I think are kind of foundational, not that I think are, that are definitely foundational into starting your business and the kinds of things that you need to know before you're getting started. Um, I'm going to use me and Linda, we talked before, and we kind of came up with an idea for kind of like generic business idea that we wanted to use as the stepping stone to show a little bit about what that looks like and how one can validate a business and move forward with it. So yeah, without further ado, I will get started. This is what I call a brand discovery, brand validation as well. And this one is specifically going to be about a coaching agency that specifically focuses on helping their clients to build and maintain customer relationships. Okay, so with that in mind, the first thing that I would do is thinking about the business, of thinking about the topics and the idea of the business. I want to think, who is the customer for this business, right? Who are we talking to? So when I think about my customer segments, I think about, yeah, when you're doing everything from social media to building out your website to where you're putting those ad dollars and where you're thinking about who am I tagging, who am I talking to? You need to imagine sometimes, not sometimes, you need to imagine actual people, actual persona, actual person. Where are they? What are they doing online? What are they doing in life? Where are they that I can be, that I need to be present? And so creating these personas, creating what they're like, what their customer pains are, the reasons why they would approach you or come to you is very important to understand to be able for you to position yourself in front of them, right? I can't I can't say that I'm marketing to everybody. Everybody doesn't need my product. Everybody doesn't need what I do. I don't want everybody because not everybody maybe can reach the price point that you want, can reach the place that you want to be, can have the conversations you want them to be able to have, right? So you really
Absolutely.
need to understand that and break it down. So for this, if we're going with the idea of the coaching agency that's specifically, helping and maintaining customer relationships, we have 4 customer segments that I present. We have the solo entrepreneur, right? Their customer pain points here, they're overwhelmed by the multitude of their basic needs to launch the agency. We have the small business owner, right? We have these scaling startups that will need help with that. And we have the corporate sales teams. These are the major 4 customer segments I would start with this kind of a business. By keeping these segments in mind, it even helps me choose even which social medias that I would use, again, and what my marketing looks like. So for this, the style that I would use in talking to these is going to be different than if I was, if I had a community-based organization that was, or a nonprofit that was speaking to the general public, right? The styles that I might use in talking to these segments are going to be much more professional in their appearance. They're going to be using and utilizing things like LinkedIn much more than they would be a TikTok, right? I'm not going to get a sale on TikTok for the kinds of things I want to do for this kind of business, like I would on LinkedIn, right? When it comes to positioning, you also need to understand what is already out there. Who is competing with you right now, or who is doing something similar to you? So I always line up who are your direct competitors. So here we have a few businesses that are doing the exact or very, very similar to what this is. Maybe not all of these, we'll go over it in a little bit, but all of these don't hit exactly what this business does, but these are the direct competitors that you need to be aware of, right? So in coaching for managing customer relationships, I would look at BetterUp, I would look at Sounding Board, I would look at coaching.com and these kinds of things. We have indirect competitors, things that are similar but not exact to what you're doing. We have other ways that people are trying to solve the problem that you're trying to solve as well. Maybe there are free solutions that people are using. Maybe there are solutions that are kind of close but not quite what you're doing, and maybe not nearly as robust as what you're doing. But it's how people, before your business starts, before your business exists, these are the solutions that they have, and these are the solutions that they're using to try to solve those pain points that they have. Linda, I know I am from Jersey. Sometimes I talk a little fast. Please let me know if I
Oh
need to
no, you're
slow down.
doing well. You're doing well.
Because I'm out on the West Coast now, and sometimes people tell me I might do a little Jersey speeding. So all right. So the other ways that I like to present to the business is ways that they can actually, if they have their idea, here are the ways that you can get involved and get your business to hit those solutions the way that you want it to. What you can do to create what offerings you can create to either monetize or to, if you're a nonprofit or a business that doesn't do direct for-profit work, how you can get funding or market yourself towards when you're looking for grants or things like that. For this one, obviously, it is a for-profit. So we would talk about, they can monetize or get involved in hyper-personalized coaching. They can do integrated relationship management tools. They can create them, ongoing support and reinforcements of those tools and those things that they're doing to improve customer relationships. They can do digital networking facilitation, metrics-driven outcomes. They can do community-driven learning. So these are all different ways that they can use, and they can prioritize in trying to create solutions with their idea to make themselves available to their potential customers. Right? And there's always something. You also want to be able, especially when you're talking to anybody who is, if you're talking to a potential funder, if you're talking to a VC, if you're talking to a person who's going to give you a grant or something, you need to, or even just in figuring out, why should this person come to you? Why should this customer come to you? What is the problem you're solving? You need to know and be able to identify easily yourself, what is that problem? What is the solution you're offering? What makes you different, which is your unique value proposition, that you're going to be able to do, your unfair advantage. What is something that you're doing that nobody else out there is doing? What makes you better set up to be able to do this over other businesses? because yeah, maybe there's other businesses that do coaching, but maybe you have a unique take on it. Maybe you have a unique education or experience in that thing to be able to market yourself in a different way, right? Because nobody wants to be a carbon copy of the business next door. So you have to know what these things are, and these are the things that we set up. Um, the other thing that you would want to do, again, so you want to know how also with your, so we talked about existing alternatives, we talked about your direct competition, your indirect and your alternative solutions that people are doing. You want to know how you're actually going to measure your own success with the business, right? So these are even things, before you spend money, before you start taking clients, before you start doing those things, you need to understand what you should be paying attention to make sure that your business is actually successful as you think, right? Like, are you actually helping people in the thing that you say that you're going to do, right? And what are those things that you need to do to be able to pay attention to that? For this, you can do, what is the client? If I was a coaching agency, in general, or for anyone actually, what is your client? What's your client acquisition rate? What's your client, even your retention rate, right? What's your customer satisfaction? Things that you should be always keeping track of. What are your customers reporting back to you, right? These metrics might change depending on the type of business that you are. If I was doing, depending on who you are, what you are, there's many different metrics to take into consideration. These are some of the first things that I would start with any business. When it comes to your channels, how are you reaching out to people? How are you getting information and things out to your potential clients, to your potential customers? So here you might utilize, you have your dedicated agency websites, right? You have your online webinars, workshops, partnerships with any kind of CRM, customer relationship management providers, so your social media and content marketing, and if you do any networking or trade shows for this kind of a coaching business, right? Whatever, I think for many of us that do B2B, you're going to be doing some of these channels as well. I'm sure a lot of you, if you do B2B sales, B2B services, you definitely do some networking. You go to some networking events. If you are a B2C business, maybe you go out to different community events. Maybe you try to, maybe you sponsor some local events. Maybe you get your name out there in some other ways. But there are multiple channels that you can utilize, and you should know them again and think about their value for your business before you get started. When it comes to revenue streams, so here for this one, we've started out with, again, we talked about different ways to play. How can you take those and turn that into money, right? So your revenue streams, monthly subscriptions for ongoing coaching, one-off personalized coaching session fees, sales of CRM templates and toolkits, commissions from CRM software referral partnerships, your cost structure, besides your revenue streams and how you make money, what are you spending money on? Because you have to break it down and you have to know where your money is going to go out of, because revenue doesn't matter if you're putting more out there, right, than what you're bringing in. So you have to break down your cost structure as well. You have to know what your costs are going to be before you get, at least have an idea of what you're going to have to buy, purchase, spend money on before you get started, because you don't want to be surprised, you don't want to be shocked, you don't want to be stopped before you can really get going, right? Yeah, sorry if I'm again going too fast.
No, that's a great point, because a lot of this, you have to know how much you need. Like when you're talking about funding, a lot of people only they say $25,000 or $10,000 or whatever. But then when I press harder and ask them, okay, for what? We think we need a lot more money than we actually need. And so understanding your cost structure is going to help you understand what you actually needed to do business, and not just pulling some random number out of the sky.
Exactly. Always break it down. It can, because even maybe asking too much, but I see very often also like people asking not nearly enough, right? Like they ask for, because they just want to get started and they're afraid to ask for how much they need or to do. And that can be a problem in itself, because if you don't get enough money, if you do actually need that, if you do need to buy this other thing, that's not helpful either. Like, it's great that you made the
Absolutely.
connection. It's great that you got the funder, but you need to be completely realistic with what's going to happen,
Absolutely.
or
And
or
that's
you're
what
going
we
to
tell.
be broke.
Yeah, because we tell them, the standard is get 3 months of operating costs,
Mhm.
but you have to know what that is. Again,
Exactly.
you have to know what that
Exactly.
is to
Yeah.
ask.
I've dealt with quite a few clients who were just getting started, who maybe didn't realize how much licensing was, how much
Mhm.
maybe the idea of, oh, like I want to do this, I want to do that, but they didn't maybe have enough money spent for things. They maybe spent too much money over here and they didn't have anything allotted over here. It's yeah. If they had started with me first, we could have
Absolutely. Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
what Connor talked about.
I understand it. I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
So the other thing, if you're at the beginning too, another really helpful tool is you can put out a questionnaire. These are the discovery questionnaire you want to hand out to your potential clients or customers, people in your demographic. I've seen some of my clients use their own networks. For example, if you were doing something uh, if you were doing specifically for coaching or something like this, you might put this questionnaire or utilize your LinkedIn network. You might utilize, and push it out to other people who are business owners or things like that to get an idea of what they're looking for in a coaching
Mhm.
service, right? You might, okay, I like Reddit. I know a lot of people don't like Reddit. Don't
I
read the
like that.
comments. I get it. It's a great space, not always for mental health stuff, but like,
Yeah,
you know,
but you get good information off Reddit.
yeah, you can get good information. You can also get scary stuff. You can get some good
Yeah.
stuff. And sometimes, yeah, pushing out for the discovery questionnaire, I've seen a lot of really good, even some of the subs for startups and for things like that, for business discussions. It can be very good quality. Even I've seen people putting out their discovery questionnaires there, trying to get feedback. Uh, so even to get started, to get information and to do the research about what your potential client does, it doesn't have to be this huge thing. You don't have to put out always like, some people think you need like, oh, I didn't do any research because I didn't have like 20,000, $30,000. And that's just not the thing, right? We live in a connected society. We live in a society that is hyper connected. I don't know anybody I've interacted with in the last 10 years who didn't have a cell phone, who didn't have like access to like a Gmail, right? So if
Yeah.
they have access to Gmail, they have access to Google Forms, meaning you
Yeah.
can send them a form, you can send them a questionnaire if you needed to get their feedback, right? Um, so this can be a very easy way to get the research done that you need, but you do need to have a setup for what those questions look like. You need to understand. I do these sections very similarly. So background and demographics. Who am I talking to, right? Tell me about yourself, so I can understand when I understand the demographics, and as I go forward with the questions, which demographics are responding positively to the thing that I'm offering, and how will that change the way that I see the client or personas that I need to talk to, right?
Absolutely.
Um, when you're understanding customer needs, exploring problems and solutions that people are having, the value and adoption of solutions, and of course, their willingness to pay is
Yeah, the most important one.
the most important one. Even understanding what that price point is. For some people, if you're doing an app, if you're doing, how sometimes you might see an app that seems like, oh, this is kind of useful. This is something I would use. But if it's like $20 a month, you might be like, no. But if it was like $5 a month to $10 a month, you might be like,
Yeah.
okay, I could deal with that.
Yeah.
With coaching, maybe depending on the kind of client you're reaching out to, you want to understand what the price point is, what the realistic price point is. Maybe you want to even break up different packages for the different
Mhm.
customer personas or segments that you have, so you can understand what hits where and how your marketing for each type of package should be, right?
Mhm.
Because that's also a thing. I don't know if we talked about maybe a while ago we talked about like the art of choosing
Yeah.
in terms of behavioral economics. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So if people don't know, there's this wonderful book on behavioral economics by Sheena Iyengar. I told Linda about it because
You
it is
did.
still to this day my favorite business book, just because it's not about you're going to be a millionaire or something like this. It's very simple. It teaches you about the idea of how people break down choices and how people make choices both in business and regular life, right? Like how you can guide people. And really understanding the answers to these questions will help you to build based upon that as well. how you can build your offerings, how you can build your demographic, how you can build everything out for your business, just with some basic understandings of choice and
My
with ability.
choice.
Yeah. Did you end up reading that book? Did you get it?
It's on my list of things to do. It is
Girl,
on my list. It's on my
don't make
list.
me don't make me send it to you because I will
Is
send
a
it to you. I
quiz
will be
coming?
that.
Ah,
Oh,
I failed the
I
quiz.
will.
I failed the
I
quiz.
will be that obnoxious. I am very obnoxious about that. The other thing that I like to give people, so if we take the idea of what the business is and what you're trying to do, what your idea is, we can understand a little bit of a basic idea of what your mission. So again, these are preliminary. These will, of course, these are to help people get started and to understand where they begin. So we'll give them an idea of what their mission, their vision, based on what they've told us of what they're trying to do or what they want to do, the kind of business they're trying to create, as well as their brand positioning, right? We also provide them with the idea of their brand values based on the things that you want to do. If you're trying to build customer relationships, if you're trying to improve businesses and B2B in this way, you need a bit of empathy, trustworthiness, innovation, collaboration, so we have your brand personality as well to help people. Brand personality also helps with everything from, you know, um, how you should be talking to others about your business, how you should, I'm sure everybody is familiar with Wendy's and maybe their social media marketing and how they do, because they have their brand personality. It's humorous. It's like playful. It's like they're talking to the consumer and they're doing, they have built a whole persona, a whole personality um, around a certain set. We have your brand communication strategy, the tone of voice you should be using, the messaging, your visual identity. What does it look like? What is it? How should the imagery, everything from, the visual identity, the tone of voice, the messaging. This chooses everything from the kinds of colors that you'll be able to use to the kinds of pictures you should be using that I should see within it. There should be a standard. From these, once the client can agree on certain things, then you can even have your actual brand package where you have everything from all of this lined out, solidified, so that when somebody is designing for you, when somebody is making something for you, when somebody is talking about you, there are standards that are consistent throughout the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, you might start out as a single person, and maybe it doesn't make sense to you right now, but one day if you do become a bigger business, when you have multiple people and they're doing
Yes.
different designs or different conversations, or if they're sending out a press release or something like that, you want to make sure there is consistency, right? So it is important to keep those things going. We do with possible organization names, which is, sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're like, but we try to give like a name story and everything with them. Sometimes it helps you, even having like some potentials helps you to sometimes pick out things that really hit for you and sometimes things that don't hit for you. So maybe it sparks your ideas and makes you think of something else, right? Maybe you're like, I kind of like this, but I might change it to this. And we give some name stories of why those things might fit for you based on what you've told us, based on what we understand about what your business is to be. For this one, the reason we just chose one, it's relevant in the next couple of sections. So then we'll give you the elevator pitch. Your elevator pitch is, again, if you randomly find yourself in a situation where you got to talk about your business and you got to get it out there in 90 seconds, maybe for some reason there is like some big VC standing next to you and they're like, oh, so what is it that you do? You should be able to very quickly tell them what it is that you do. You have a paragraph that you're just like, oh, we do, blah, 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 right? Without the, obviously articulate, please. But we like to help into helping you craft your story, craft what it is that you do. You will refine it, of course, as you go, about so that you can quickly explain and talk about what it is that you do.
Absolutely.
Anyone who's watched Shark Tank or you know, I think it's Dragon's Den in Canada or something like if you've seen those, they give their elevator pitch. They do their pitch, and they can present to you what it is very quickly, succinctly, so that the person knows exactly what it is that they're offering. I cannot tell you how many times someone has told me about their business and I have no idea what's happening. Or I have to ask them multiple times, like, but what does that mean? Like, because they'll
Catchphrase.
learn some catchphrase or something. They'll say words that they think sound good together, but they don't actually mean anything. Like they're just like where they'll sound like a snake oil salesman or something, you know? So it's instead of sounding like a snake oil salesman, you need to be able to articulate what it is you're doing. From beginning to end, I need to understand what it is because I can't help you, other people can't help you, and people certainly can't buy from you if they don't know what it is that you're selling. And so that's why we put together an elevator pitch to help you and to refine the idea. And
I
not
love
just,
that.
yeah, it's I'm sure Linda, you understand that you've probably heard a
Oh,
few
oh,
interesting
I've
snake
got,
oil salesman
yeah,
stories.
I've had to help some people build some. And even I was just telling the previous interviewer that I actually pitched my business for the first time in my life, and it was horrific because I'd never
Oh
done that.
no. Hmm.
It was oh my goodness, it was the worst thing ever. But it taught me how important it is to have this down pat, to understand first, me being able to understand what I do, and then be able to articulate it intelligently to somebody
Hmm.
who has no clue what I do.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
got to
And
wear
it,
those shoes. Did
yeah.
well.
I mean, for me, I tell people this is terrible, but like I do design, I do development. We do businesses from behind the scenes, right? So I tell
Mm,
people I like to be like an NPC. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be heard. I like to be like don't like. So when it comes to presenting myself or presenting what it is that I do, sometimes I definitely have the like tongue tied thing. So
yeah,
having the elevator pitch, understanding like right away it helps me and other anxious people, other nervous people easily get that out there, right? Because if
absolutely.
you memorize it, if you think about it, if you have it to go right in your backpack, it's a right in your pocket. It's a very good way to get across and to maybe sound like a better performer than what you typically are.
Absolutely.
So yeah. And another thing that we like to do is we like to at least, after we know a little bit about what it is that you're doing, you need to, for every business, you need a website, right? You need a way to show people what it is that you do, how you do, and you need to get across the features that it is that you do very easily, right? So we will present, or what is important to present is what all the features are, what you're trying to sell right away. This is obviously not a finished page. What it is like just an outline of
Right.
what the idea should be. So at the end of our process, typically with people, then we would create the actual design. We go through the actual branding. We create something for them. But this is the outline of how we think and how we think to get the idea across right away. If somebody were to start tomorrow, if somebody wants to do, oh, I just want to do a landing page. I don't want to do a crazy website. I don't have a like, I just need to get some presence out there. It would look like or feel like an outline like this, right? Where we, here's your header, here's whatever. We'll add some pictures, we'll make it pretty and do something. But you need to hit these points to be able to tell people what it is that you're doing.
I love it. And that's the thing. And this is all of this is about establishing a credible business. Like this is not the hustle. This
Right.
is this can be used to conform to convert your business hustle into an actual real business, a legitimate business. Because the ones that get funded are legitimate business. You have to have a basis. You have to be able to have a conversation about what your business is about. Understanding these different dynamics of your business will help you be able to do that pitch, right? Because you'll be
Mhm.
very clear on you've done your cost analysis. You're asking for the right amount of money. You know what you need. You know how it's going to sustain you for 90 days. Like
Mhm.
having that whole conversation, understanding about your revenue streams, understanding all of that is all about getting to know your business on an intimate level. And this is the tada. This is the tada part of it, Jennifer. So tell them what what is being offered that they can use to get to this. How do they get to this?
Oh, so I mean, this is something. So this to get to this point, It depends on what the business is looking. So my business in general, we work mostly with we work with nonprofits and for profits. If a person needs to get to this point, depending on what they're looking for, we you know, sorry, it's hard for me to say because we work on a social equity basis. We mostly work with BIPOC-owned businesses, and we help them with getting these things across. So we work with everything from like solopreneurs to people who are small businesses to medium and large businesses of what they're doing. To get to this, to get started, all a person needs to do, they can set up a consultation with me, and we can talk about where they're at with their business, what they need, and figure out which sections, what pieces, what do they need. Are you a person who just needs, oh, you know what, I need to start from the beginning. I don't even know, uh, like I need a SWOT analysis, right? I need a discovery questionnaire. I need a whatever. If they set up their consultation, we can have a quick 15, 30-minute call, talk about it, and then go from there.
Absolutely. And so wherever you're watching this, her website and her connection numbers are in there. But guess what? Also, in my beginning Saturday, you'll start seeing links where you can link with her in order to get those conversations. So they'll be appearing all over my social media too, so that you'll find how you can link with her to get the ball run. This is going to be game changing for businesses moving from that hustle mentality to a legitimate, fundable business. Like it's very important. These are the basics, the bottom line, the foundation of moving your business from a hustle to an actual business that is credible out here in these marketplace streets, and taking advantage of the fact that you've gotten from zero to something, but now it's time to be something great. And so this is moving you from the something to the something great. Okay. And so I love, love, love all of this. Like I said, her email address and her phone number is in the description wherever you're watching this. If you're watching it on the podcast, it is also in the description there. And if you're watching it on Instagram, it's also there. So wherever you are, where you're looking at this pre-recorded or you're here live, you can actually just click the links and make the appointment and get the party started.
Awesome. Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, before we close, can you please tell me what you would like for the person that has watched this presentation to walk away with? What is the walk away?
Um, One, I would like people to understand the importance of actually, so my goal with people is that I don't want people to go into starting their business or doing something and kind of wasting their time or money, right? Like the goal for me is I want people to be able to get the best foot forward. Um, Again, especially because I work with mostly marginalized communities, I work mostly with BIPOC-owned businesses. My goal is to give us a good starting point, right? When resources are limited, when possibilities aren't like, not everybody's got like a multi-millionaire daddy or mommy who's willing to open that pocketbook. So my purpose is to make sure that people can get what they want without like, you know, without breaking the bank, without going broke trying to get it to happen. So
Um,
my takeaway is if you want to start a business, please be serious about it. Please, doing the work, getting the stuff done. It's not crazy to try to do the research. It's not gonna hurt. The price point in those things are going to be a lot less than when you're going out there spinning your wheels without the information that you could easily be acquiring, right?
exactly.
So that's my goal. Let's
Absolutely.
everybody succeed.
Absolutely, we all succeed, and we get there by learning the shortcuts. This is the shortcut. This is because you can throw things against the wall forever. That is the most expensive business model, or most expensive way to build a business model is to throw whatever against the wall and see if it fits. That is
Mhm.
very expensive. And so this is a way of proven business strategies. I am teaching people about business principles that apply regardless of who uses them.
Mhm.
And that's business strategies that work. That's what we're doing.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me okay?
My internet went out. I don't know what that
Oh, sorry.
was.
Okay.
Yeah, my internet went out. But I'm looking at it and it's still in, but I don't know if it's a StreamYard thing or what. But in any case, we're going to close right here. And thank you for joining us today, is where I was going. And your links are in wherever they're listening to this. And we'll see you all next week on the Business Plux Mixer. It comes on Sunday, 7 o'clock p.m. ish, 7 o'clock p.m. ish. And we bring business conversations by business people for business people. So until next week, you all have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday here on the Business Plugs Mixer. Have a great week, everyone.